Welcome to the I Ching Cafe. My name is Belinda Dubston, and it is wondrous that you are here with me for our weekly I Ching forecast for the week commencing the 29th of September 2025. Lost a little bit of September because our October monthly forecast is around the corner. Can you believe it? So a little bit of September this week and a little bit of October as we work with the flows of change. So last week we had some troublesome energy we were working with. Okay, we got through it. We survived. We had a Hexagram 33 retreat, pulling out of battle. Okay, getting out of situations that are not right for us right now. And some difficulty in retreating. People hanging on for dear life. Okay, restraining us. Some web of challenges coming to challenge us to call on our helpers and to find a way to retreat gracefully from things we no longer need. And of course, that lovely Hexagram 6 conflict, learning how to de-escalate. Okay, dropping the temperature on things and conflicts that we encounter, finding ways of finding that common ground I spoke about as a negotiating position, a place from which to move forward. How did that work out for you? What were the conflict situations, okay, and the things you were retreating from? And was it an internal conflict, which is a little harder to manage if you are struggling with being betwixt and between two different things? Okay, if there was anything that came up for you, please do share a comment. Now, this week we have one changing line, so let's get into our first hexagram. We have, for this week, hexagram 43, breakthrough. The structure of the hexagram, a whole lot of male yang lines, one little female yin line at the top that's moving out, okay? And it's the surge of power, the surge of creative energy that is shoving out that last bit of negativity out the top, okay? An issue, a challenge, something that has been difficult, shoving it out. And in order to do that, that last little bit, right, is the bit that's kind of like resilient, okay, it's clinging on, right, the last little hanging on influence that we're trying to get rid of. It's a tricky one because it's the last to go, and to do that we need to be resolute and decisive. So this hexagram brings us the energy of deciding and parting, making a decision, being resolute, overcoming procrastination, overcoming indecision. Okay, so wherever we are like, okay, this hexagram comes to help us bring the energy of saying no, or yes, or this way. Okay, it brings us that very male energy of those male lines going whoosh, pushing up to allow us to make a decision. So procrastination can be overcome if we reach out to this hexagram's energy this week and let it guide us and help us in making decisions where we got stuck, where we perhaps are putting off the decision or we are afraid of doing the wrong thing, but now we've got to a point where we really need to do something. Okay, this week is the week where we now really have to deal with this thing. Okay, we have to take action and we have to make a decision. Okay, now working with this hexagram, our changing line I mentioned is in position 6, right at the top. It's a very tricky position for this hexagram because that is actually where the negativity is, right? The issue we're trying to push out is in line 6, okay? And this line has a couple of different facets to it. The one brings us back to the idea of seeds we have sown. So now we're in this final stage of pushing this old stuck thing, the last remnant, okay, we're getting rid of. We can see the victory or see the completion process in front of us, okay, because there is a completion. We can see it ahead of us, and we were like, in the final moment, we can get careless about the vigilance on completing it properly. And the way we see this is that there's a whole lot of seeds that have been planted in the situation, right? And some are, fruit-giving trees, and some are things that are weeds, right? And if we are not vigilant in making sure that we have covered all our bases and we've got rid of all the weeds, the seeds of those weeds, okay, as we finish this last process, we've eliminated all the negativity, the issue, we've taken out the issue and all its roots, okay? Because you take a plant that's got deep roots that can continue to propagate, and you just chop off the plant, like you can't see that the plant is gone, but you know that the roots are in there. And you think, well, it'll bide me some time. Later I'll deal with it. If it pops up again, shoots up again, I'll cut it off again. But those roots continue to infect the situation. We have to dig in there. We have to get them out. We have to get out the seeds of negativity that perhaps can continue to propagate unseen while we go about life. Okay. So this changing line really calls to us the idea, or shares this idea, of doing the job properly. Okay, completing this decision, this decisive process we're doing, where we've overcome an urge to procrastinate and we finally made a decision and we've completed this decision, we can risk not getting everything out, all those roots, all those tubers, all those seeds that lurk under the surface. We've got to get them out, because if we don't, we bring a lot of trouble later in the cycle when they start shooting, and out comes all these problems and they come back with a vengeance. So there's something around this process where we need to not be satisfied with just dealing with the surface, okay, cutting off the problem right at the base on surface level. We need to dig into what's under the surface, okay, get rid of the deeper issues. I think in my mind, like, I see an example of there's a conflict with a team member or something, or you've got a problem with a staff member, or there's a relationship issue, and you have a discussion and everyone says, yeah, that's all fine. We understand. Okay, we've got each other. We've worked through the issue. Everyone's fine. But everyone's not fine. And if you just went in a little deeper for just a short period of time, you will see that the issue is sitting under the surface. The real issue, the real seeds. Giving up too soon on this process can cause us a whole pile of hurt later. We need to dig in there. Okay. So, root out the issue. Whenever you come across an issue, you've made a decision and it looks like it's solved, right? It's easy. Like, okay, we've just chopped that off. Look under the surface. Dig deeper and don't give up until you've satisfied yourself that you've got every seed and every root of this issue and you've removed it from your team, your family, your relationship, your whatever it is, okay, that you have done everything you can to remove all remnants of this negative issue. No matter what it takes, root it out, because we will suffer later when they come back with a vengeance, and perhaps we're not able to eliminate it as we would like, as the opportunity now presents itself to get rid of it. Okay, second part of this is some references talk about this idea that if we do not speak out to darkness, right, if we do not call out the darkness, call out the evil, one book talks about, call out the issue, right, we fail the I Ching, we fail change, we fail the flow, we fail the superior person. So as much as I've created this image of rooting out the roots of negativity, the seeds of negativity, it can also be about speaking out about the issues that are negative, that are difficult, that are toxic. Is calling out their name, right? Calling out that they exist, calling out the situation and speaking power to them. And so part of this week, pay attention to where you are needing to take responsibility for calling out the problem, the darkness, the evil, the negativity, that whatever this label is that you want to give it, okay? The issue. Calling out the issue and calling its name. Because like, you invoke a demon, right? Not that you know how to invoke a demon, I don't, but the idea, like from movies, you call the name and the name brings it up and you can just smite it. Okay. All right. So that's a very encouraging symbol for us to work with for the week ahead. But this changing line, really, it's like the last culmination. It's the last fulfillment. If we don't take responsibility for doing this part properly, getting rid of all the roots and the tubers and the seeds, digging them out, being willing to dig under the surface to get at them, just because you can't see them and everything looks fine doesn't mean it's fine. There's something here this week we're all dealing with where it's not fine. We need to sort it out under the surface and above the surface. That gives us a new hexagram, only one changing line. Okay, it brings us back to the beginning. Hexagram 1, the creative. Okay, so this is creative power, creative energy, the dragon soaring in the sky, a surge of creative power, right? That we can learn to focus and direct, okay? We can be this mythical creature, this dragon breathing fire and bringing gems and jewels, okay? So the dragon energy comes up. It gives us a chance to start a new cycle. Hexagram 1 is the beginning. It's the creative seed. It's creative energy, and allows us to bring in this energy to start something new, to reset something, to begin a new cycle. Even if it's a small little cycle, it's a new, fresh energy of new beginnings and new cycles, right? Resetting, beginning again. And so when we work with this idea of hexagram 43, that last little line where we need to get rid of it, get rid of the seeds, get rid of the roots, get rid of it, and reset, the energy comes in. If we do this work this week of rooting out the problem, right, rooting out the darkness, we create the space for this energy to come back in, the creative power that's wanting to help us start a new thing, a new energy within us, a new energy within our lives and our businesses, this new creative flow to come in and support us and move us and energize us to applying our creative intelligence to the task at hand. Wonderful energy of new energy, power that we can tap into working with this week. Thank you so much for being here with me. I'm really lovely to have you here. And of course, if this was valuable to you, a thumbs up, a like would be great. And of course, if you're new to the channel, come and hit that subscribe and the bell and the follow button, depending if you're on the podcast, so that the episodes come into your app as soon as they are live. And I look forward to seeing you very soon for our October monthly overview. We are here in October. Wow, 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 wow. What has happened to 2025? That's all I can say. So until then, take care.